the first house. What is it? So in astrology, the first house, just like all 12 houses, they have their own symbolism, their own characteristics, their own, not personality traits, because that would be more of the signs, and also the planets and luminaries and such that we'll get into on this channel. But it's really important to go over what the houses mean. Super important. And it tends to be one of the things that is the most confusing for people when they're really getting into astrology. Like, if you know what your sun, your moon, and your rising sign are, then you're in the right place, because this is going to help break down a little bit more of what these things mean if you know what an actual chart looks like. It doesn't mean too much if you're not looking at what a chart looks like. So this channel is meant to help you utilize astrology as a personal development tool and a self-awareness tool, and thus a self-actualization tool. And I want to help either aspiring astrologers or just everyday people that are interested in astrology and open to it, especially as a personal development tool and a transformative tool. I want to help you guys to understand what this means, and the houses really do have a visual aspect to them. So I'll be laying that out in a more detailed video. This is an overview of all the houses. We're starting with the first, okay? We're going to end up with the 12th. But I just wanted to give a little bit of an overview as to why it would be important to start to understand what these mean, and that you can only go so far with understanding what astrology is before you kind of need to actually start having a visual representation of what, how complex it is. Because if you're anything like me, and you know that when you read a horoscope in a newspaper or a magazine, it's really just for fun, because it's so vague and broad and applicable. And if you're into those, I'm not trying to talk badly about horoscopes at all. There's actually a whole amazing science behind it. But really, if you really want to get into being a little bit more schooled on what your chart means, what these houses represent, and everything, then you need to start learning how to read charts. Okay, I'm here to help you. My name is Vanessa. I love astrology. And this is Vanessa Simpson Astrology, not because I own astrology. No, it's because I'm just so interested in it, and I've struggled for years to show up as an astrologer because of imposter syndrome. And that's done with. I'm just showing up. So this is astrology through my eyes and through my experience. I have over 30 years of studying and literally living astrology, and I have a little over 13 years of chart reading for people. I specialize in birth chart readings, but I also read horoscopes, and I read comparison charts between two people so that you can see how your charts align with each other in certain ways that bring a lot of harmony, or at times can bring conflict. So I'm just fascinated about the topic of astrology, and I am personally super into transformation. Love it. So if you're into that, you're in the right place. Okay? So, without any further ado, let's get into it. So the first house is all about self. It's about identity. It's about your image, how you know yourself. It's not necessarily right off the bat at all having to deal with anyone else. It's really just you and how you view life, how you view yourself, how you view the world, but through the vehicle of identity, personal identification, self. Okay, this is a house that is cardinal fire. And so that means that it's led by passion, it's led by interest, it's led by excitement. The first house, it represents leadership. It represents how one can be a trailblazer or a path, a path maker. You can create ways of moving forward via this house without pretty much any obstacle truly standing in your way. So if you look at your houses, if you look at your chart, and you see which sign or signs are in your first house, and which luminaries or planets, or if there is anything in your house, a lot of houses won't have anything in them when you're looking at your own birth chart. That's totally cool. All of it has different meanings, but the first house, anything in there is really how you identify, how you see yourself, and how you move forward with this like instant, like I can just do it. And there isn't much in the back of your head or around you telling you you can't. So this is all about you. I hope that helps. The first house is traditionally associated with Aries. So you'll find that as you study the sign of Aries a lot more, there will be a lot of mirroring happening with the first house. You'll find a lot of the same representations in that house. Doesn't mean that you might have Aries in your first house. I actually have Scorpio and Sagittarius in my first house. But so it's a way that you can take whatever sign you have in that house and apply it to how you identify. Okay?